Remember when I made that Justin Timberlake reference in that one episode and you didn't get it?
I didn't get it.
Yeah.
And you came back and you're like, Neil, you didn't get that one. That was too good.
It was almost the best thing we've ever said.
It was. I'm sorry.
It was at least top 10,000. Oh, there's the music.
Hey!
Are we about to kick
we're
into
rolling
the?
right
now. Did it just start rolling?
Yeah, it just started rolling.
So a minute,
so
9
none
seconds.
of what we just said is
Nothing
actually
matters.
on here. No.
So, Titus was listening. He's been listening to the podcast in the car with me. I think it's because he doesn't want to talk to me. He wants to listen to you. And knows that our podcast is a safe place not to hear me, but to hear you. And he was listening to Everest. And in Everest, we didn't get to the intro or anything related to Everest for 9 minutes.
Yeah, it was a long one.
He was about 5 minutes in. He goes, where's Joseph Tilley? And I was like, Joseph Tilley has left us.
Oh,
he has left the chat.
Joseph Tilley is frozen up on top of Everest.
We
left him up
now.
there. Oh, hey, Tyler.
Yeah.
Listener.
Yeah. Me as the listener.
No, it's just everybody. What are we talking about today?
We're talking about Peleton.
Yeah.
What happened to them?
We're going to find out because things aren't going great.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know that or not.
Yeah. Well, they hired me as a CEO. And ever since then, I've been burning that mother to the ground.
Yeah, 1 mile at a time.
1 mile at a time. I was like, excuse me. So, start.
Hey, how's it going? Welcome to the Tyler and Neil Explain Everything podcast. Now officially your 4th favorite podcast. Hit the subscribe button and make sure you go to patreon.com/explain everything to get exclusive episodes. Looks like we made it.
Well, our goal here is in 30 minutes or less, we want to help you stay the smartest person in every room because you're already pretty daggum smart.
You're pretty stinking smart. You're ACT, full ride, in-state. Out-of-state, you're going to pay a little. In-state, though,
tuition
you're doing
fees.
well.
So we have a counter, a magic counter, a magical mystery hidden counter behind the scenes that is going right now. And at around the 21-minute mark, it's going to tell us you need to shut up, boys, because you got to do 3v3 and Will It Rock. And
No, in full clarity, it will not say that. It'll just be a little ticking noise.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Because I didn't want anybody to get confused.
What if I
They
change
think
it up?
somebody's going to come up and go, all right, boys, that's enough. You can get out of here. Get off my lawn.
No, I hired Dave Chappelle to jump in here and just jump in and
How
go.
about that? That
Yeah.
guy pushing and running into him?
Oh, my gosh.
That was great. And they jacked him up.
Yeah.
They were stomping him backstage.
He did.
Well, no, he's not dead. He's just, his arm doesn't work the way arms work now.
No, they did.
I couldn't
break his
look at the
arm.
picture.
They broke his arm. I don't like watching sports injuries.
I don't either. I hate it.
Yeah, I can't handle that.
I hate it. Titus and I were watching when Clay jacked his knee up in the finals, and Titus goes, "That makes my stomach feel
knees-
weird." I go, "Yeah, mine too, buddy."
Knees don't bend that way.
No, that's a wiggly wobbly.
What's the guy from the Celtics that snapped his leg?
Oh, Gordon Hayward. I saw it once, couldn't see it again. Speaking of wobbly knees, one time about a month ago, my daughter went to the nurse. She's a 4th grader. She went to the nurse, and she said, and she told the nurse that she needed to. She's like, I need to see you because I have wobbly knees. Her ailment was wobbly knees, and she went to the nurse.
That's pretty creative.
When I was a principal, I had a kid. She came in and she had an itchy finger, and I sent her straight to the nurse. I go, well, you need to get that checked out. And the nurse calls me about 5 minutes later. He goes, really? An itchy finger?
Ever send somebody down here for
it was funny.
What if she had an itchy trigger finger? I'm gonna shoot some
God!
fools.
As a principal, that's really scary.
yeah,
Neil. I have to take
that's
action.
bad.
You've just taken up a day and a half of my life, calling and
that's bad.
addressing.
That's
Yeah,
bad.
you
Counseling.
as a principal, you hear that, you know that nothing else is going to get done. No email is going to be checked for about a day and a half at least.
Where they need to be, unchecked.
Oh no,
No?
emails you get 24 hours.
Checked it.
and you're done.
Oh,
People's lives are on
okay.
the line. Neil.
Okay, all right. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So Peloton.
I'm sorry. I just went on a rant.
It's all right. Peloton has been on a wild ride over the last 2 years.
Yeah, COVID. Was
Oh,
a cinch.
my gosh.
I mean, because that's all. Like it was a thing.
It was
Like,
everything.
COVID had its things like Zoom, Peloton.
Yep.
COVID,
Sickness.
elections,
Yeah,
social justice.
my
Like there's things that
gosh.
spiked during COVID.
Yeah,
Stonks.
it elevated whatever was already going on with it in a good way or a bad way.
Yeah.
In a bad way.
Yeah.
So the subscriber-based exercise company, they actually peaked it during COVID. I don't know if you're aware of that, but things have changed since the borders are open again. I don't know, the boundaries are off of COVID or
since
whatever.
Masks are down.
Since
Spirits are
masks are down. So shares during COVID hit an all-time high. They were at $175 a share.
Before COVID, they were like in the 20s, right?
Yeah.
He said, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you this, Tyler. They were zero.
No, during February of 2020, they were at $28 a share.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, Tyler knew that off the top of his head. And I want you to know this is the kind of quality programming that we are bringing you every single episode, except not for yesterday. But anyways.
I'm kind of the wolf of Wall Street. Not a wolf, like a kitty cat of Wall Street.
I'm a wolf.
Just kind of keep my eyes on, just prowl around, get a little... You know, some kitty cat rolling up against Wall Street.
So in the spring of 2021, gyms and offices reopened and stocks of Peloton dropped. A lot of people are like, well, I don't know. So in a single year, they basically lost every portion of whatever they gained in the stock market. All them gains are gone.
So question.
Yes.
Is that... I understand, like COVID, people can go out, they need exercise, bicycles are nice.
Well, do they need exercise?
No, they don't. Okay. They can just be like in the end of WALL-E, float around in their little hover chairs. So whenever, the question, and you may answer this later because I definitely read the notes.
Okay.
So whenever it started dropping, like I know stocks are supposed to be predictive. Like it's like this is where we think you're going. It's like a month or two out or more or less, whatever.
Yeah.
So you think it's where it's going. So obviously it went up and then it stayed there for a while and then it dropped dramatically. Question.
Yes.
Is that because they like drastically lost subscribers? Or is it because they like the people saw like, hey, this isn't going to be as valuable whenever people can ride bikes outside?
Huh. That's a lot of good questions that I think we'll possibly answer in this upcoming episode next week on an all-new episode.
On Dragon Ball Z. Trunks and Goku.
What's funny? I don't know any of the words you just said.
Will Goten be able to defeat Frieza?
I don't. Would you please let us do that episode so I know?
Finn's been getting into.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Finn. Please. Is he a listener?
No. Well, he is when Titus plays it in the car and he's playing his Switch. Okay.
So Peloton launched in 2011. They started off as a stationary bike company only. But then they're like, hey, listen, what if we connect this with the internet? Because everyone with the internet said, well, we would like to Peloton, which is funny because every time, like Peloton is a thing in cycling. Does everybody know that?
I didn't.
They know that.
I thought it was the name of the company.
No, Peloton is when you get that. It's like a V formation, and it's like you have all the cyclists and the riders, so they're drafting off of each other. The Peloton is the large group of cyclists that ride together.
No, that's
you're right.
Flying V.
I didn't do anything.
That's a flying V. That's a flying V. I've seen it. It's in Mighty Ducks.
Okay. Wow.
You're gonna tell me I'm wrong?
It's the weirdest thing this morning. Early, I was actually thinking about this episode, and I was like, I wonder if he'll do the voice. He did. Your sister.
His sister was a witch.
Okay.
She came down in a bubble, Doug. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So what's funny is when you say Peloton, people think that's another word for exercise bike. It's like we've redefined, like, hey, I have an exercise bike at home, a stationary bike. No, you have a Peloton or you have something else.
Yeah.
So the way people used to buy these Peloton bikes is it was mainly wealthy white consumers in 2011 all the way up until the first portion of the pandemic and then definitely into the pandemic.
Okay.
So subscription fees are very high. I don't have one. I have friends who have one, but it was pricey. So the bike itself was like $2,000 and then you actually have the monthly fees on top of that.
Thanks, Adobe.
Yeah.
Creative Cloud.
Oh gosh. But
should have stayed with Final Cut Pro deal.
No. Yep. I can't do it.
I was with you whenever you switched. We were having lunch and you said you switched. I was like, oh, when they'll switch.
Well,
nope. I ain't paid nothing ever for it. I got it from Bauxite 10 years ago.
Updates. That's why. Bauxite miners, ladies and
Bauxite
gentlemen.
miners, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry, Bauxite. What's it?
So people, what they were when they actually subscribed, they got obsessed with the trainers and the content. So it started to become personality based. So Robin
Thicke.
Gosh, no, that's definitely not.
He had that song.
No, yes, he did.
How did it go?
I don't.
What was the song? He danced with Miley Cyrus and his wife was not a fan.
No, not good.
Yeah, and also he cheated on her a bunch. So I don't think she liked that either.
It's not good. So Robin, I can't remember what her last name is.
I'm sorry, I'm on Robin Thicke train now.
He wasn't going to stop until you actually got
my brain is in there.
So, So Robin is one of the trainers. She actually they
popular.
cycle. They do great. So what they realized that they need to expand their user base. So the demand for home exercise equipment surged in March 2020, which is when the pandemic hit. So people all of a sudden had more budget because they weren't traveling and they weren't spending as much money. And the market value reached almost $50 billion in 2021, right after the pandemic. Everybody was looking for like, how can we do it? That's up from $7 billion 2 years prior.
And that's home exercise equipment.
Home exercise.
Okay, it's not like Peloton was up that much. No.
Yeah. So they gained 1 million new subscribers at the beginning of the pandemic.
Oh, dang.
Yeah.
And that means they bought a bike.
Yep. You can't. Well, no. You could also buy the service. You can buy and watch their exercise videos and do it on your own bike if you want. It just doesn't have all the equipment and doesn't have the sync up.
Yeah, you're
putting your phone up.
You'll get made fun of.
So honestly, I did it. No, I did it, and I got made fun of. But
you did?
No.
By Robin Thicke.
At that. No, we had like we couldn't go anywhere. And we had a gym membership, but it wasn't a gym membership, but we went with our townhouse that we were at.
Oh, yeah.
And I couldn't get Peloton, so I got a free month of it. And we put it on my phone on that stationary bike. And was like, yeah, Robin, take me there. And I don't know what was going on. Anyways, it doesn't matter. Sorry. Okay. So late 2020, the company was racing to fill orders. They couldn't keep up with it.
It felt like they were kind of just racing in place. Is that what it felt like? They were racing there, but they weren't going anywhere. They were just kind of sitting still.
You know, I do that sound. So when I get on the treadmill downstairs, I joke around because I shut the door and Cassidy's room's down the hall. And if I get in there super early and I run, it's not the treadmill sound in my feet goes. When I see people that are jogging on the side of the road, I make that noise when I drive by them. I don't like they can hear me. I'm like, okay.
But they know.
They know. So they were struggling. Quality control, and they missed deliveries. None of their growth was actually sustainable. This is in late 2020.
So just they blew up too fast is the big problem.
Yeah, because they couldn't match it. They couldn't match it.
It was like the spicy chicken sandwich at Popeyes.
Yeah. You're like, well,
too late now.
Can't get one of those.
Nope. Going back into chicken fillet.
Hey, ice cream machine at McDonald's.
Oh, never works.
They're getting. We might find a new sound. So in March 2021, they had a tragic, fatal accident. You probably know this. A treadmill killed a kid who got actually underneath the tread. It was on. It got stuck underneath it, and
like somebody was riding it, and the kid got underneath it.
I don't think they were on it. It got turned on. And then he got stuck underneath it.
I'm sorry. I don't understand how stationary bikes work. I thought you had to pedal to...
So they have treadmills and bikes.
Got it.
And this was underneath the treadmill.
Yes.
So they issued a bunch of new warnings. They recalled every single treadmill that they had. Actually, it was I was sad because their treadmills looked really cool. I was like, man, that might be high quality. I might do that. No, after that, I was
so they don't do treadmills at all, or do they fix them?
No, they do. They fixed them. They've recalled them twice.
They're like 8 feet off the ground so that people can't get...
It's really, it's just like a park bench. You're up really, really high. Yeah. So they estimated that recalling every one of those treadmills would cost them $165 million in 1 quarter. And that's what it cost to pull them all back.
That's good estimates.
That
good
was
job.
too much. Hey.
I probably taught them math on Tarver Academy.
There it is. So they couldn't recover from that. That was the first part of it. And then gyms started reopening.
Oh.
That's where things started to go bad. So people who could afford a Peloton, they already had one. And that was the interesting thing. I didn't realize this, that it's like, oh, you already have a Peloton. There's nothing I can do outside of the subscription service anymore. And they couldn't continue to find new people that actually had the money.
So they needed the revenue from the initial purchases to fund it because they didn't have the amount of subscribers to maintain. Got it.
So they bring in a ton of new employees. Production goes up. They have to match all of that. And now all of a sudden you have this huge overhead and you can't do it right. So Peloton, they had to slash prices. So it's $1,895. They cut their price up for the stationary bike. They cut it down to $1,495.
It's a good year.
That's $1,495. I was like, what happened at $1,495?
I'm just kidding.
So the demand fell. And the bottom line fell out. Their stock plummeted. They lost nearly 3/4 of their total market value in 2021. So in 2022, they added hundreds of dollars in fees to their bikes. They actually just did this again 2 weeks ago. They added fees. So it's like, our bike costs $1,495. That's $1,495, not $14.95.
Okay.
$1,495, but now we're going to tack on like $160+ in added fees on top of it. Don't get my father-in-law started about hidden fees.
Well, that's every college ever. Our tuition hasn't raised in 10 years, but your fees went up $10,000 a semester.
It's bad. It's really bad. So Peloton went on a hiring freeze. They cut 2,800 jobs, about 20% of its workforce. All those people they brought on, they had to cut.
They're not doing new bikes.
Nope, no new bikes. Yeah. So as if things couldn't get any worse, this is when the HBO Max limited series Sex and the City spinoff, it's called And Just Like That.
It's a terrible name, but go ahead.
Yeah,
you don't start a sentence with and.
No,
it's ridiculous.
Or you don't say the word just. Remember, you taught me that.
I did.
You said take the word just out.
Yeah, that's because that's what my advisor said on my dissertation 800 times.
So if we look at this and the title is And Just Like That, then it would really just be called Like That.
Like That?
And
which would be better because it sounds like All That, a sequel to All That.
Which is
All That.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is also the straight to streaming new series. It's a Matrix spinoff called Not Like This.
Not like this. Not like that.
Sorry.
That was good. No, that was solid.
That was good.
I don't want this to go by and breeze by. This is incredible.
I watched it with Sydney the other day. The first one? No, the first one. She's never seen it. Her mind was blown. We sat in, we closed the curtains in our living room, cranked Matrix up, and she watched the first one. She's like, my brain can't handle it. I said, yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Did she wait so long because it's hard to use the remote?
Oh, do not. Sorry, George. So at the end of the first episode,
he's a Patreon son. Your father-in-law.
So after this Sex and the City spinoff, just like that, at the end of the first episode, Mr. Big, who's played by the actor Chris Noth, he's like the love interest of Carrie Bradshaw, who's played by Sarah Jessica Parker, who's also married to Matthew Broderick. I don't know if that's a deep dive, but I think most people know that. His character clips onto his Peloton stationary bike for his 1,000th ride. This is supposed to be a big deal. He hops off of his bike after he's done with his workout, has a heart attack, and dies.
It's not good publicity.
It is not.
And just like that, Peloton's done.
Oh, wow. So cue all the jokes. Cue all of them. So there are two different types of product placement agreements that you can actually have. Because you're like, how did they let them do this? How does Peloton be like, yeah, it's okay. Put our bike, the one thing we're actually trying to stop people from doing is dying. Yeah. Put that in there and actually connect that over to
it's dying. Like, okay, we got two products. Someone actually dies from the treadmill, and now it's like, maybe we can have a fake person die that people feel is real, die from the other one.
They're like, wait a minute, did he really die?
Yeah.
Yeah, that we just happened to be recording. Yeah. Happened to be rolling. Roll on to.
This is actually a documentary, not a show. And just like that. Your company is dead.
Okay, so the two different kinds of product placement agreements are this. A company can pay to be featured in a new show or a movie. Yeah. You're like...
Yeah, Acura in an Avengers movie.
Yeah.
Is it Acura?
Yep.
No, is that the car company?
I think it was it, yeah. And you're like, what car is that?
Acura that's a very weird angle they just pulled in. Mm-hmm. They pull in just so you can see the front, and then they walk all the way around. I'm like, this shot feels like it made them some money. This shot is paying for Chris Evans.
A lot. For like 10 minutes of his.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
So that's the first kind of product placement. The second is where a production company, they procure a trademark product to be used on screen. So basically what it is like, hey, we want to do this, we want to do that. So they go out and they get an agreement from the company to say, hey, can we use your product in this? And then because of that, you actually the production company wants to use the product, so the company that owns that product goes, yeah, you can. But typically in that agreement, you don't have any say on how they use your product. So they're giving you money and you're like, yeah, I guess. So Peloton had agreed to the second kind of product placement. They didn't know that it was going to be on screen in that way. They were just hoping that that product placement would gain them market awareness again. They were thinking this is going to be a positive thing. The opposite happened.
They were wrong.
They were really wrong. That's bad.
That's bad.
Like the one thing you do is used to kill somebody. Okay, so Peloton can't actually sue them because that agreement was already there. And they said this. So Peloton comes out with their own commercial and their own statement. Their statement, which is hilarious because the character's name is Mr. Big. Mr. Big had a history of heart disease, and if anything, his Peloton bike may have actually helped delay his cardiac event. That's a statement they put out.
I love it.
Not a real person.
I know, but I still kind of like it.
It's hilarious.
Yeah, it's so good.
Like, okay, that seems like good. No. That doesn't go well. So you said it before that the
Peloton
Ryan
commercial.
Reynolds.
So the original Peloton commercial was what?
Was that lady on her bike because her husband got her the bike?
Yeah.
And it was like, come on.
It blew up because it was like a husband saying that you don't look good.
Yeah. You need to get on that bike.
Yeah. Like, yo,
yeah.
I gotta cook and you gotta ride.
I was trying to take a drink of coffee, but I stopped because I was going to burn my face from laughing.
Yeah, it's the commercial, and it blew up. Like, it was everywhere.
Because people were mad at it. They're like, that's terrible. Why would you do that?
Yeah, why would you tell your wife she's gained weight?
And then our friend, Ryan Reynolds, he created another commercial that actually made fun of that whole thing.
Yeah, he has like a gin company, and it was just like three friends sitting at a table, and she's just like staring off.
Yeah.
And she takes
same character.
Yeah, same lady that was in the commercial, and they're like,
so funny.
Is everything okay? It's fine. Because, you know, she's just getting blasted with.
Tore up. I feel bad for that actress.
Why? You could make a career off that.
Off of one bad mistake.
You could speak at every company ever. Like, you talk about whatever.
She just plays in character. Every time she goes to speak, she's just kind of staring down at the ground.
Drinking
she's
gin.
really taking this hard.
It's like it's 15 years ago.
Gin. So Peloton, they put that whole Ryan Reynolds as a voiceover as Ryan Reynolds. So Chris Noth actually then says in Ryan Reynolds' version of this whole thing, Peloton tries to put this commercial out. So after the Sex and the City show actually happens, Peloton puts a commercial out. Ryan Reynolds is the voiceover actor in this new one, and it's just Chris Noth sitting on the couch, and he turns around and looks at the camera, and he says, "Shall we take another ride? Life is too short not to." And this is what Ryan Reynolds comes in and says as a narrator. He goes, "And just like that, the world was reminded that regular cycling stimulates and improves your heart, lungs, and circulation, reducing your risk of cardiovascular disease. Cycling strengthens your heart muscles, lowers resting pulse, and reduces blood fat levels." Long pause. He's alive. And then they end it.
That's great.
It's great for Ryan Reynolds. Yes. I think he's got the best quirkiness when it comes to
he's
like
so good.
He's so understanding of what's going on. When he did that commercial with Betty White, oh my god.
Oh yeah.
He did the one with Rick Moranis.
Oh,
he brought him out from Mint Mobile. It's just those things like that are brilliant.
So good.
That ticking you hear in the background is telling us that we're almost out of our.
But we're doing good. Your notes are perfect.
Great. Yeah, we're doing great. My notes are perfect?
Your notes are perfect. I wanted to say it. I'll be transparent with you.
I've never been more happy.
Do you want to read? Remember, we're allowed 30 seconds after that goes off.
Yeah, we get 30 or a minute. Can I have a minute?
You can have a minute.
Okay.
I'll allow it. The council has spoken.
Thanks. Thank you. So the new CEO, Barry McCarthy, he was the CEO of Netflix and the co-CEO of Netflix and Spotify. He agreed to lower the price subscription company, Peloton. He said, we're going to lower the price. People think that they're actually, the service is actually going to become affordable and accessible for more than wealthy white people. They're like, hey, maybe the rest of the world could actually get this. This is a massive gamble if the company makes it long term. So just last week, they came out with additional fees, about $100 in additional fees. Yeah, they lowered the price of the bike, but they're adding all these. It's the weird. It's like, hey, this is the sale on Tuesday, but you jacked up all the prices, and then it's like buying every car on a lot ever. MSRP. What does that even mean?
Yeah. Manufacturer's statement reduction price. I don't know what it is.
Version
price.
All right, Tyler.
3v3. Go.
Which button is it?
I don't remember.
I did it.
You did it.
Welcome to the party, pal. This is 3v3.
Okay,
I got our 3v3. You ready?
Tyler just mouthed as if he was doing the voiceover in the microphone.
I like it. I like it. Brian, my kids really like Brian, by the way.
I like Brian.
Brian
Reynolds.
Brian is their second favorite person on the podcast.
You're the first.
That's
wrong. Kids love their dad.
It's definitely Neil.
Kids love their dad.
So whenever I'm thinking for 3v3, this is what we do. We're picking a team. Oh, goodness.
There it is.
We're picking our teams. We're the coaches for a Peloton race. Okay. And in it, we can only choose fictional TV show characters. So like Chris Noth or whatever.
Sure.
He raced on his Peloton.
Okay.
He had a really great time for his thousandth ride.
Probably did.
Almost too good.
Probably did. Yep.
And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna pick people we think would be good at Peloton riding.
Okay.
And we're gonna see who wins.
Are they going to be like the coaches on Peloton?
No, we're the coaches.
Oh yeah, okay.
And we're the coach, and this is our
I got
team.
you. Okay.
And we're competing in it's a one
Got it.
event triathlon, so
Okay.
one athlon.
Okay.
That sounded almost like a cuss word.
It's a wathalon.
Wathalon, a singular-a-thon.
Singular. Okay.
There's probably a better term for that. I don't.
We'll take time to think about that.
Nope.
Nope. That's definitely not it.
right.
No, that's not it. Okay, you go first.
Okay, good. I was prepared.
You always
I'm
go
doing
first.
Ryan Reynolds from Two Guys Who Grow on a Piece of
Oh my gosh.
I know. I've got it. Picked him. Number 1 draft pick. Markel Fultz.
All right, I'm gonna go. Bryan Cranston's character from Breaking Bad.
He's got to cook.
He's gonna, and like there's a transformation over time. Like he shaves his head partway through the ride because he's like starting to lose it. Yeah, Tyler likes that one.
I like that one a lot.
Okay, you go.
Tony Soprano.
Oh my gosh!
I just really want him to get back in shape. I'm just really concerned for his life.
He's dead.
First off, we don't know that. I've never seen the show. I don't know. I've never seen it, but I know how it ends.
I actually don't know how it ends.
Yeah.
Mark Cox, one of our great longtime listeners,
first-time caller.
finished watching this show recently. Mark, if it's actually a good ending, please let us know. I don't know anything about it.
I know how it ends.
Okay.
That's all I know about the show.
Is there a bike involved?
No.
No?
We just cut to end credits.
Okay.
I'm
going to say John Goodman's character from Roseanne.
Oh, absolutely.
He's always yelling at stuff.
And he fluctuates in his weight.
He always does.
He
always does. Oh, I know who my last one's going to be.
Okay. I'll tell you my last one.
Okay.
Question.
Yes.
What was the name of that guy from the documentary Bike Beyond that quit? What was his name?
I'm not actually allowed to say.
No,
I can't say.
I'm going to call him Mike. He looks like a Mike, okay? So mine is a Mike spinoff show in the works.
Of just what happened to him
What happened to him after the Bike Beyond documentary.
It's just a van ride to the airport.
Yeah, and then it's him starting his own bike ride across America.
Oh, my
And it takes him 12 years.
Has anyone checked in on him?
I mean,
it's a bike. I love all of this.
I know.
That's great.
He's going to ride across America, but on a Peloton.
So
he'll ride the bike, but it's sitting on a trailer. It's a Peloton bike sitting on a trailer.
It's like what they do for carpool karaoke, where the car is actually the one that got busted with Justin Bieber. That's funny. Okay, all right. My third one is going to be The Rock in whatever show. Doesn't he have a Will It Rock? Young Rock. That's it. Young Rock.
Is he in that show?
I feel like his voiceover is in it.
I mean, WrestleMania counts as a show. So he could be shirtless with his
I
Speedo.
was going to say Chandler Bing because his weight fluctuates a lot.
It does.
Throughout the show. It's
whenever
he's on drugs.
Drugs or alcohol.
Wait, there's drug?
In real life. In real life, not on the show.
Yeah, no, not on the show.
This is a pro. This
No,
is
for sure.
This is a children's
Okay, here we go. Ready?
Yeah. Okay. Didn't know that started like that.
The question on everyone's mind, will it rock? The answer is probably yes.
If you're watching this video on YouTube, we just synced our faces up with.
He did it with his eyes, and I did it with my tongue. That was weird. To say.
I said synced it up with our faces.
Yeah,
I tried to keep it.
we synced
I tried
it.
to keep it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And synced it.
So will it rock? Would this commercial process have been any better if you had inserted the rock in? So will it rock? What we do is we ask this question: is how does this situation improve
with
if you,
Dwayne the Rock
if you
Johnson?
put Dwayne the Rock Johnson?
Yeah.
in?
Go ahead and explain Will It Rock? That's so good for
Thank
our
you.
first time
Thanks.
listeners. I know we got a
first-time
lot of first time listeners.
First time
on here.
listeners on the Peloton.
Yeah,
on the Patreon.
Patreon to Peloton. Patreon to Peloton. Yeah, they saw it and they said, I didn't see it, want to buy
Hey,
it.
speaking of hidden fees, we're jacking the price up on the Patreon as well.
Yeah,
no, we're
it's
not.
$3 a
We're
month on the Patreon, but also we're charging $1,500 a month.
So cool.
Yeah.
So cool.
And we're going to invest it in Peloton stock.
Vested. So with this situation,
Yes.
so yeah, okay, it would if he was like doing the voiceover and all that kind of stuff, but this never would have happened to his character. No. He would have never allowed it because isn't he one of those guys that can't lose in a fight?
Can't lose in a fight.
Can't lose to
Never lost.
He
can't lose to Jason Statham.
Or a stationary bike.
Or stationary bike.
For
but
sure.
you put him and Ryan Reynolds, they've got chemistry. But that's the thing. We're like surprised, like, oh, Kevin Hart and The Rock have chemistry. The Rock and Ryan Reynolds have
Yeah, they're
he's The
great.
Rock. Everybody has chemistry with him. If they don't, he beats them up.
Right.
That's the rule.
And turns their bones into a powder, which then becomes part of a chemistry set.
Exactly. Absolutely, it does. Yeah, Bill Nye comes out and he goes, "Yeah, did you know when this reacts?"
Did you ever watch Beekman's World?
I did not.
No,
I
you
know
really got my hopes up there at the beginning. He was like the competitor to.
No, I only stick with winners.
Well,
That's why I talk about The Rock.
All right.
But why are we surprised that The Rock has chemistry? Like, oh, wow, a smart, funny guy is good with other smart, funny guys.
He made Mark Wahlberg more watchable.
Yeah.
Was it?
Transformers. Wasn't The Rock Optimus Prime?
Pumping Iron.
He just painted him up.
Have you ever seen the guy who does the voiceover for it's like, that guy, he sits in his library most of the day and smokes a pipe. Smoking jacket.
And you're like, man, why don't you upgrade to a vape? And he's like, just kidding, kids, don't vape.
Don't vape, kids.
Don't vape.
All right, so there's a really good chance that Peloton does not make it long term. They had just came out with a bunch of reports that their stocks continue to plummet. So
what's going to happen?
Sorry, Peloton, you did it.
They did their best.
You already got all these subscribers.
They're like, where's COVID 20 when you need it? I'm like, first chill. You and Zoom are sitting in the room.
Simmer down.
What a round.
Also, that was good.
Thanks, man.
I wonder...
The Rock was in Doom.
I wonder who has more subscribers.
Doom.
Us on our patreon.com/explain everything
or Peloton.
Peloton. Well, okay. Guess whose stock is worth more, though?
Peloton.
Okay.
We're not a publicly traded company.
Dang it.
We went private. Elon Musk purchased
we
us.
We were public and we went private.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
Private eyes, they're watching you. You know that song?
Is that Robin Thicke? See how I brought it back together? Yep. Hey, thank you guys so much for coming to Neil's TED Talk at this point.
Hey, bye.
Thanks for listening to the Explain Everything podcast. You can follow us on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube at Explain Everything Podcast. We're on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, but you're already here. We love you. No, actually, we're in love with you. Thanks for coming on our TED Talk. Bye.